Hello everyone. So from today onwards, I'm starting a new series in which I will be covering the budget and economic survey of different states. So today we are going to cover the economic survey of Gujarat. Now understand this is going to be useful for those candidates who are going to appear in UPSC exam as well as in state PCS. That means the candidates from Gujarat. Now, in UPSC, of course, in interview, you will have to prepare your home state, and for that, economic survey is important document because it is released by the government. Technically, it reflects the socio-economic performance of that state, and we will be covering this socio-economic review of 2024-25. Now, those who are going to appear in GPSC, that is Gujarat Public Service Commission, of course, it is going to be important not only in interview stage but also at prelims and mains stage. Now, let's start. One more thing, the PDF of this document is available. Please check the link given in the description box as well as in the pinned comment. You don't have to write this entire information, just try to understand it. Okay, now let's start. So first is related to the basic, that what are the most important factual information about Gujarat. Now understand, the area of Gujarat is roughly 6% of the area of India. To be specific, it is 5.97% of area of India. And the population of Gujarat is 4.99%. So in a very simple sense, can I say that Gujarat has 6% of India's area and 5% of India's population. That's first thing. The literacy rate in case of Gujarat is 78%. Now, in terms of population, the total population of Gujarat is 6.04 crore. And in terms of population, it is on 10th position. Now, just for the reference, in Bihar, the child population is roughly 5 crore. Child population, only child population is roughly 5 crore. The entire population of Gujarat is 6.04 crore. The population density is 308. And in terms of density, it is on 14th position. In terms of population, it is on 10th position. In terms of density, Surat is the most dense district, or in terms of population density, Surat is on top position and Kutch is on bottom position. This is about population density. This is about population. This is about the population in comparison to India. 5% of India's population, 6% of India's area, 78% of literacy. Now, this data of 6.04 crore, this is as per census 2011. Now, out of this 6.04 crore, or roughly 6 crore, 6% is the area, 5% is the population, 6 crore is the population number. In terms of population number, Gujarat is on 10th position. In terms of density, it is on 14th position. Surat is the most populated, or in terms of population density, Surat is on top position, Kutch is on bottom position. Now, out of the 6 crore, roughly 57% population reside in rural area and roughly 42% population reside in urban area. The level of urbanization in Gujarat is higher than national average. If I have to specify the national average, so it is 31% in case of India. This is as per census. So that simply means in case of India, 69% population reside in rural India. In case of Gujarat, it is only 57%. That means Gujarat have higher level of urbanization in comparison to national average. The reason is more industrialization in Gujarat. See, urbanization is a byproduct of industrialization. If there will be more industry, there will be more urban areas. Why so? Because if there will be industry, people will go there to work. That will lead to more and more urban areas. So that is the impact of urbanization and industrialization. Okay. Now coming to the population. So understand, the two-third population of Gujarat, two-third of the 6 crore, This is in the age of 15 to 59. That means it is in working age. And that is why this population is basically referred as a demographic dividend. What it is referred as? A demographic dividend. Demography basically means population. Dividend basically means good thing, asset. So, in a very simple sense, the two-third population of Gujarat is in working age, and that is good thing for the state. That's why that is referred as a demographic dividend. Okay, now Gujarat, even though it have 5% population of India, 6% area of India, it contribute roughly 8.2% of India's GDP. That means, understand this point carefully, that means the contribution of Gujarat in India's GDP is higher than its contribution in population of India. Population contribution is 5%, area contribution is 6%, but GDP contribution is 8.2%. The scheduled tribe population of Gujarat is roughly 14.8% of its population, and 6.7% of its population is scheduled caste. So again, a very straightforward question can be framed that scheduled caste population is higher than scheduled tribe population in Gujarat. No, it is the opposite. SC population is roughly 6.7%, ST population is roughly 14.8%. That is about the basic profile of the state. Now let's talk about the money, the most important parameter. So understand, the goal of Gujarat is to be $1 trillion economy by 2030. $1 trillion economy. Now understand, the goal of India is to be $30 trillion economy by 2047. So Gujarat is going to play a key role. Why key role? Because roughly 8.2% of India's GDP contribution comes from Gujarat. So can I simply say 8% of GDP of India comes from Gujarat? Okay. Now, in terms of export, understand this point carefully. In terms of export, the contribution of Gujarat is roughly 30%. That means if India is exporting 100 rupees worth items, 30 are being exported from Gujarat. That shows the economic strength of Gujarat in comparison to other states. So 30% comes from Gujarat. Now, in terms of GDP or GSDP, GSDP basically refers to gross state domestic product. That means the GDP of state. So, in terms of GDP of state, the nominal GDP means GDP at current price level. Real GDP means GDP at constant price level. Whenever I am saying constant price level, I am referring to price level of 2011-12. In this case, whenever I am going to say nominal, I am referring to the price level of 2023-24. So, in terms of nominal price level, the nominal GSDP of Gujarat is 24.26 lakh crore, roughly 24 lakh crore. And the nominal GDP witnessed the growth rate of 10.1%. Nominal one witnessed the growth rate of 10.1%. 10.1% in comparison to what? In comparison to previous year, that is 2022-23. Okay, that is about nominal GSDP. In real GSDP, it was 15.9 lakh crore, roughly 16 lakh crore, and the growth rate was 8.9%. So the GSDP size of Gujarat is, nominal GSDP is 24 lakh crore, real GSDP is 16 lakh crore. Okay, in terms of per capita income, what is per capita income? Total income divided by total population. How much is total population of Gujarat? It is roughly 6 crore. How much is total GSDP of Gujarat? Nominal GSDP is roughly 24 lakh crore. Real GSDP is roughly 16 lakh crore. How much is the contribution of Gujarat in national GDP? Roughly 8%. Contribution in area? Roughly 6%. Contribution in population, roughly 5%. Okay. Now, in terms of per capita income, the per capita income of Gujarat, nominal per capita income of Gujarat is 2.97 lakh. This is annual per person average income. What is the national? That means what is India's? It is roughly 1.8 lakh. So, in a very simple sense, it is higher than national level. It is 1.8 lakh. Okay. What is the real per capita income? It is 1.95 lakh. This is about Gujarat. This data is of Gujarat. This data is of India. So can I simply say, on an average, in a very simple sense, the nominal per capita income is roughly 3 lakh rupee annually, and the real per capita income is roughly 2 lakh rupee in case of Gujarat. The nominal GSDP of Gujarat is 24 lakh crore. Real GSDP is 16 lakh crore. That is all about the economy of Gujarat. Next is FDI. What is FDI? Foreign direct investment. So, understand, Gujarat contributes roughly 30% of India's export. There is a reason for that. The reason is that it need to be stronger in manufacturing, and in order to be stronger in manufacturing, foreign investment must be there, or basically investment must be there. So if there will be investment, there will be more manufacturing, there will be more exports. So the cycle is like this. Investment, manufacturing, export. So Gujarat received roughly 16.343% of India's FDI. In a very simple sense, if India as a country received 100 rupee as FDI, Gujarat received roughly 16.43, and in terms of recipient of FDI, it is on second position. I think Maharashtra is on first position. Please cross check that. So in 2023-24, Gujarat received roughly 60,000 crore of FDI, 60,600 crore of FDI, which is double than what it had received in 2021-22. So that has become almost double. 60,000 crore, roughly 16% of India's FDI, roughly 30% of India's export, roughly 8% of India's GDP, roughly 6% of India's area, roughly 5% of India's population. That is Gujarat. Okay. Now, in terms of FDI inflow in Gujarat, these are the top 3 investors in Gujarat: USA, Mauritius, and Singapore. Now, let's talk about the industries in Gujarat. So basically, as per the annual survey of industries, there are 21 SEZ in Gujarat. SEZ refers to special economic zones. Now, in terms of industrial production, Gujarat is on top position as per the same survey, annual survey of industries. Gujarat is on top position in terms of industrial production. Now, in terms of GST, Gujarat contributes roughly 8% of India's GST collection. That means if India as a country collected 100 rupee as GST, 8 rupees were collected from Gujarat. Similarly, now easy way to remember, how much was the contribution of Gujarat in national GDP? Roughly 8%. Similarly, GST contribution is also roughly 8%. How much was the contribution in export? Roughly 30%. How much was the contribution in FDI? Roughly 16%. So this is how you can interconnect data. Okay, now in terms of ports, Gujarat is on top position in terms of cargo handling capacity. Cargo handling capacity basically means which state handled how much cargo. So in terms of that, Gujarat is on top position, and it handled roughly 38.5% of India's cargo capacity. So that shows that Gujarat is one of the leading state in terms of connectivity or in terms of infrastructure. Now understand these things. See, if there will be good infrastructure, investors will come. If there will be more investment, it will lead to more production, it will lead to more employment generation. So things are interconnected. Better infrastructure, more production, more employment, more industrial contribution, higher GDP, higher per capita income. How much is the nominal per capita income of Gujarat? Roughly 3 lakh. How much is the real per capita income of Gujarat? Roughly 2 lakh. Is it higher than national average? Yes. Okay, so that is about ports. Now, in terms of diamond, Gujarat is the leading player. Roughly 80% of world's diamond processing is being done in Gujarat, specifically in Surat. And 95% of India's diamond export are from Gujarat. Next is in terms of energy. See, in modern day, whenever we need infrastructure, two type of infrastructure is very important. One is energy infrastructure, second is a transport infrastructure. If any state is able to provide this kind of infrastructure, it will attract more investment in comparison to others. So these are two important pillars. Of course, there are other pillars also, for example, business environment. So these are the pillars which will attract more investment, which will lead to more employment generation in the state. In terms of energy infrastructure, Gujarat is on top position in terms of installed wind energy capacity. Gujarat is on second position in terms of installed solar energy capacity. In terms of nuclear energy, Gujarat have 22% of India's nuclear energy capacity. That is roughly one fifth. Now it is on top position in terms of installed power capacity. That means in terms of installed power capacity in India state-wise, Gujarat is on top position, and it have roughly 18% of India's renewable energy capacity. Can I simply say Gujarat is the source of roughly one fifth of renewable energy of India? In terms of wind, it is on top position. In terms of solar, it is on second position. In terms of nuclear energy, it provides roughly 22% of India's nuclear power. So that is all about energy infrastructure. Now coming to employment level. So as per periodic labor force survey, this survey is by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, that is MOSPI. So as per this survey, the labor force participation rate in Gujarat is 49.6%. Labor force basically refers to two kind of population, LF. It refers to two kind of population, those who are employed and those who are unemployed. Now, who are unemployed? Unemployed are those people who are searching for a job but not getting it. Understand the technical term? Who are actively searching for a job but not getting it. Those people will be referred as unemployed. Okay. Now, in terms of unemployment rate, the unemployment rate in Gujarat is 1.1%. Two important data are there. 1.1% is unemployment rate. The labor force participation rate is roughly 49.6%. The worker population ratio basically means the population which is working divided by the labor force. So that is worker population ratio. So that is 49.1%. So these are two important data. Now we have already discussed labor force basically means employed and unemployed population. Unemployed means those who are actively seeking for work but not getting it. So that is the employment status in Gujarat. Next is related to the various institutions. Okay. So first thing first, at national level we have Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog is a successor of Planning Commission, which is responsible for planning and all those process. Similarly, Niti Aayog, on the lines of Niti Aayog, the Gujarat government have set up GRIT, that is Gujarat Rajya Institution for Transformation. Niti Aayog is under Prime Minister. This GRIT is going to be under Chief Minister. So this is a similar version of Niti Aayog but at state level. Apart from that, Gujarat was also in news because of the bullet train project, which will be from Ahmedabad to Mumbai. The length is going to be 508 km. So this is India's first bullet train project. In terms of semiconductors, Gujarat is the leading state which has announced its own semiconductor policy. For that, there is a semiconductor manufacturing setup in Sanand, and for that, investment is by Keon's Semiconductor. Gujarat government has also announced the semiconductor policy, and it is one of the leading state to provide that kind of business environment. Apart from that, Niti Aayog also provided the list of growth hubs. That means these cities or these areas will act as a hub of growth in the upcoming time. These are Vishakhapatnam, Varanasi, Mumbai, and Surat from Gujarat. Surat we have also covered that it is one of the leading center of diamond processing and diamond export. Apart from that, Gujarat is home to India's first gift city. What is gift? Gujarat International FinTech City. FinTech City. What is FinTech? FinTech is a combination of two words, finance plus technology. In a very simple sense, these are the companies, FinTech companies are those companies which provide financial services with the help of technology. For example, Google Pay, all these Paytm, Phone Pay, all these are fintech companies. They provide financial services but with the help of technology. So India's first gift city is situated in Gujarat, specifically in Gandhinagar. Apart from that, the National Maritime Heritage Complex is situated in Lothal. Apart from that, India's largest cable bridge is also situated in Gujarat, and it is Sudarshan Setu. This is going to connect Dwarka to the Bet Dwarka. Apart from that, recently, the Prime Minister of Spain was on a visit to India, and during that, Indian Prime Minister and Spanish Prime Minister inaugurated Tata Aircraft Complex. This is going to manufacture C-295 aircraft in India, and this facility is being set up in Vadodara in Gujarat. Okay, now let's try to understand the contribution of each sector in the economy of Gujarat. How much was the size of GSDP of Gujarat? Nominal was roughly 24 lakh crore, real one was roughly 16 lakh crore. How much was the contribution in India's GDP? Roughly 8%. How much was the nominal per capita income of Gujarat? Roughly 3 lakh. Real per capita income of Gujarat? Roughly 2 lakh. Gujarat handled roughly 38% of cargo capacity of India. Gujarat is on top position in terms of the installed renewable energy capacity in India. In terms of wind, it is on top position. In terms of solar, it is on second position. In terms of nuclear, it provides roughly 22% of India's nuclear energy. Okay. Now, the contribution of primary sector, primary basically means agriculture and associated activity, is roughly 19.6%. In a very simple sense, roughly 20%. Contribution of secondary sector, that is industrial sector, is roughly 44%. See, this shows the economic strength. Why so? Because usually the contribution of secondary sector in case of India is quite low. The contribution of tertiary sector is roughly 35.8%. This is agriculture and associated activity, this is industry, and this is services. So in terms of sectoral contribution, can I simply say the contribution is like this: 3-2-1, sorry, 2-3-1. 2 basically means industrial sector, 3 means services sector, 1 means primary sector, agriculture and associated activities. Now let's discuss the industrial profile of Gujarat. So recently, world's first nano urea plant was set up in Kalol in Gujarat. Nano urea basically refers to liquid urea, and this is by IFCO. What is IFCO? Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative Organization. So this is world's first nano urea plant in Kalol. Apart from that, Gujarat became the first state to launch its own semiconductor policy. It is the first state in our country to launch a particular insurance scheme for the unorganized worker, and that is Antyodaya Suraksha Accident Insurance Scheme. This is a scheme for unorganized sector workers. Unorganized sector workers basically means they do not have fixed terms and condition of employment. That means they do not receive social security benefit. What are social security benefit? For example, they do not receive paid leave, they do not receive pension, health insurance coverage, and so on. So in a very simple sense, they are quite vulnerable, and that's why Gujarat government has announced this policy. We have already covered that Gujarat have 21 operational SEZ. SEZ refers to special economic zones. Apart from that, Gujarat is on top position in terms of startup sector for the last 3 years. What is startup? Startup is a new company. Basically, two conditions are quite important. A, the turnover of that company should not have crossed more than 100 crore. Turnover. Turnover refers to annual revenue. It is not the profit, annual revenue. Second thing, the age of that company, that means it should not be older than 10 years. So two important conditions for startup, that is 100 cr, turnover should be less than 100 cr. This is turnover, and age should be less than 10 years. Next is about infrastructure of Gujarat. So we have already discussed this point that in terms of port or in terms of cargo handling capacity, Gujarat is on top position. In terms of bullet train, India's first bullet train project will be in Gujarat from Ahmedabad to Mumbai. In terms of airport, Gujarat has 7 international airport, 12 domestic airport. Now, the Hirasar Greenfield Airport was also approved, and this is going to be in Rajkot. Understand the term greenfield. See, whenever the term greenfield is used, it refers to new project. Let me write it down. Greenfield basically means new project. Brownfield refers to old or existing project. Okay, in terms of power, we have already covered that Gujarat is on top position in terms of wind energy capacity, on second position in terms of solar energy capacity. It is on leading position in terms of the installed renewable energy capacity. So that is all about the infrastructure, connectivity infrastructure and energy infrastructure in Gujarat. Okay, now let's try to understand the few nuances related to Gujarat. First is that Gujarat was in news because recently the first Annapurti ATM was announced in Gujarat. Annapurti basically refers to the ATM, or basically it is a food ATM. Just like in ATM we get money, in this ATM we will get food. Why? To address the nutritional deficiency. So this is going to be in Bhavnagar, and for this the government has collaborated with UN World Food Program. Apart from that, according to the budget of 2024-25, that is last budget, 65% expenditure of Gujarat was on developmental projects. So that shows that okay, government is spending more and more money on the productive activities. Now, there is a initiative of Niti Aayog aspirational district program. In this program, the most backward district of India are selected for their performance evaluation. That means there is a competition among the most backward districts of India. So two districts are from this particular state, that is Gujarat. One is Narmada and second is Dahod. Okay, next is related to the focus of Gujarat. To understand, we have already covered that for planning purpose, on similar lines of Niti Aayog, Gujarat government had set up GRIT, that is Gujarat State Institution for Transformation. This is under Chief Minister. Gujarat is the first state to launch their roadmap for Viksit Gujarat by 2047. So it was the first state to launch its own semiconductor policy. Now, the focus of this roadmap is earning well, living well. Remember this tagline, it can be directly asked in your GPSC exam, that what is the focus of the document or vision for Viksit Gujarat. So the focus is earning well, living well. Apart from that, Gujarat is the first state in the country to prepare a tourist dashboard. What is the name of this dashboard? Atithyam. In a very simple sense, it will have the database of tourists. According to the tourism sector, the Dhordo has been declared as the best tourist village. So just remember the name Dhordo. So these were the important aspect of economic survey of Gujarat. Now in the next part, I will cover the budget of Gujarat and subsequently the economic survey and budget of other states. Thank you, and that's all for the day.